It is thundering, it is hailing, it is raining. I almost didn't get a show out today, but I had to talk to you guys. I found systemic racism in businesses across America. I found platforms that are positioning themselves, programming to favor racism, to favor and promote one group of people based on their skin color over another. And I wanted to make everyone aware of the systemic racism that I have found. And that is what we're talking about today. Welcome to How to Build a Tent, the podcast on how to make you successful. My name is Matt Williams. We're part of the Fight Laugh Feast Network. Over to flfnetwork.com. Put in HTBT in the memo field. You'll get a sweet 15-ounce mug that you can see behind me as I hit my mic. And you'll get tons of other great benefits. You get an incredible discount on the conference that we're having October 1st to the 3rd in Nashville, Tennessee. Don't miss it. Do not miss it. Please come. And when you do come, say hi to me. I'd love to meet you. You can email me, Matt at howtobuildatent.com. Find me on all the social media sites, including Parler at howtobuildatent. All right, guys, I'm serious. We have found it. I have found platforms like Yelp favoring a group of people over their skin color. They're, in fact, putting buttons on their landing pages saying, you go support these companies. For example, go support these white companies. Go support these white small business owners. Go support these white entrepreneurs. I'm seeing blogs. I'm seeing Instagram pages where people are saying things like, go support these white people. Go help give them business. Don't give these other people, these other ethnicities, don't give them any support. Go give these white people support. That is what I'm seeing. There's a page where it says Yelp is committed to supporting the white community. They're going to help develop tools in support of white-owned businesses. Can you believe that we have companies in the United States that are as racist as this, that are supporting one ethnic group over others simply because of the color of their skin? Except it's not white people, as you've probably guessed. It's black people. But could you imagine if one company dared to do any of the things that these companies are doing for black-skinned people that they did for white-skinned people? They would be gone. They'd be canceled. There would be no customers. They would all resign. The employees would be shamed. They would be doxxed. People would be at their houses burning them down. And yet this form of racism is accepted, it's applauded, and it's elevated. We live in a racist culture. We live in a hateful culture. Ironically, in a day where we have coined hate crimes that don't exist, that are unbiblical, we're the most hate-filled people in generations in the United States. Racism is out in the open. Discrimination is bragged about. But it's the racism and the discrimination that the humanist worldly religion celebrates, elevates, and leverages to use power and control over you. You know, it's funny. One of the most controversial episodes that I ever had, the most controversial episode I ever had, where people were emailing me, disagreeing with me, calling me out on social media. I rarely get that, surprisingly enough. The most controversial show I had was when I suggested that Christians should consider supporting Christian businesses, to look for people in your church to give your business to first. If it's a plumber, if it's an electrician, if it's whoever, to support Christians and prop up Christians, because we're going to need Christians to have the money and the prestige and the experience and the success to be able to rebuild after this, to be able to be in a place where we can be an authority to preach the gospel, to provide a way, to benefit our communities. It's more true than ever. And so many Christians were angry at me and got mad at me because I wasn't being a capitalist. I wasn't truly supporting capitalist principles, that we should go to the cheapest option or the best value. And obviously, if someone's giving you crappy value and a crappy product or a crappy service and they're Christians, don't go to them. Go to someone else. But the point is that we should be supporting and building up the church family first. We should be edifying and building up and blessing, giving business to, helping be successful people with our values, people in our family, people on our team, just like the heathens are doing. Just like the world is doing, just like the idolaters are doing, the hate-filled bigots, the racists. They're doing this right now. And they're doing it at the same time as shaming you and silencing you so you can't bring up the gospel in your church, or in your workplace, so that you can't talk about conservative ideas, not Republican ideas, but conservative ideas of conserving the foundations that we were built on this country, the foundations of the Bible. Don't you dare talk about that. But we're going to promote racism by selecting a group of a skin color and saying we're going to support them over every other people. We're going to build platforms. We're going to have algorithms that are created to give business to systematically support and oppress others. We're going to systematically, in our systems, in our platforms, in our algorithms, support black people over every other group of people, even Mexicans, even Asians. It's not minorities. They're for black people specifically. Does it get more hateful than this? Does it get more evil than this? Yelp's webpage right now is black. They're changing their colors. This is evil. And while they're preaching their gospel, as long as they're elevating their hate-filled message, you must be silent. And they are going to continue to gain ground. They're going to continue to be bold until we can do the same. Speak out. Don't care about if you're going to lose your job. Don't care if you're going to lose customers. Don't care if you're going to lose your paycheck. Don't care if you're going to lose friends. This is what the Bible talks about when it says you go outside the gates and meet him in his shame. This is what it talks about in the Bible where it says take up your cross and follow him. It's dying to yourself, not doing what's best for you, but doing what is right and following Jesus and being an example, not just for yourself, not just for your coworkers, not just for those around you, but for your family, for your children, to see what it is to be a man, to be a woman of God. Meanwhile, we're hearing the preaching and the proselytizing of every worldly religion, every hate-filled voice, every hate-filled message that could be rained down on us through Disney. It could be rained down on us through commercials, through advertising, through our social media. But don't you dare talk about Jesus. Don't you dare talk about the solution. And we're just cowering. And we're just being latte soy drinking. Guys, we're being as a Christian whole in America, we're just being effeminate. The majority of Christian men are being effeminate. There's no one speaking out. Or there's very few people, I should say. The people that I would expect to in authority, that we have placed in authority, that we're paying to be in authority, to fight against this, to lobby against this stuff, silent. I haven't heard a peep. No, they're busy attacking us conservatives who are holding to the Bible, who don't want to bring in worldly philosophies, don't want to bring in any of those Marxist ideas. They're attacking us, not these people. They're not calling them out for their hate like I'm doing right now. They're not calling them out for their racism. They're too scared. They don't want to lose their positions. They don't want to lose their country club memberships. And as long as that is the case, as long as we support these people, as long as we hold them up as the leaders, the representatives of Christianity, Big Eva, as long as we subscribe to them, as long as we read their articles, as long as we support them and don't call for their resignations, as long as we do those things, we're just as culpable. We're just as culpable. We need to write them, call them privately if we have their numbers, email them. We need to be fighting, and we need to be encouraging our companies that are affiliated with our values. I mean, I just think, didn't something happen with Chick-fil-A? Even the CEO was bending over backwards for the Black Lives Matter people. I don't even remember what exactly was. But it's like Chick-fil-A, if there was any company that was supposed to be the exemplification of Christian values. They play worship music in their freaking restaurants, for heaven's sakes, are bowing down to this idolatry. It's idolatry. It's idolatry. And it may not be where we're just fully casting out God, but we're collecting these idols and worshiping God at the same time. But we have these idols on our right side. And we're going to do this too, because they're going to keep us safe. They're going to protect us. Tell that to Jimmy Kimmel. Tell that to Jimmy Kimmel, who's being crucified on the cross of social justice. There's nothing that this hateful religion that the humanists are preaching, these Marxists are preaching, there's nothing that's going to come from it except death, because the wages of sin is death. And while we are silent, the silent majority, the silent Christians, we're letting these people die in their sins without preaching the gospel, without making a stand. That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now. The unbridled attack, the unbridled advance of this hate-filled, racist, bigoted religion is advancing without any restraint. That's the church's job, and we're failing. You want systemic racism in companies? You want it? Do you want to see what it's like to hold people down? Look no further than social media. Look no further than Yelp. Look no further than any of the companies saying they're going to do better by promoting black businesses, black people over every other race, every other ethnicity, not race. We don't believe in race as Christians. There's one human race. That's an evolutionary term. That's an evolutionary idea. This is getting real, guys. Don't think that this isn't going to come to you. This is happening so quickly. You will have to make a stand. Who do you serve? Choose for this day who you're going to serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. And I pray that you will join us in that stand. This world be damned. Let's follow Jesus. We'll talk to you tomorrow. God bless.